Hey beloveds, happy summer solstice. Get over to my website at thechildoflight.com. Again, that's thechildoflight.com. Use my coupon code summer solstice and get 21% off until July 4th. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. This is your reading in the area of love for the first week of July 1st through the 7th. July 1st through the 7th. We're going to do couples and we're going to do singles. I'll place this timestamp here in case you want to go ahead and skip to the singles. However, if there's any question or any doubt that your relationship is not going to last, stick around for the singles version because it could speak to you as well. Now remember, this is general and it's not going to resonate with everyone, so feel free to check out your other signs if you find that it doesn't particularly resonate with you. Okay, now time is an illusion basically, and energy is fluid, so feel free to reverse the roles, but I'm going to be reading from the perspective of Sagittarius because this is the Sagittarius reading. Okay, and because time doesn't actually exist, at least not in a linear fashion, it could be before, it could be after, but we got to stamp it something. Sagittarius, coming right on through there. Coming through loud and strong, Sagittarius. Very vocal, are we? All right. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the Hermit, the Six of Cups in the reverse position, Four of Wands, and the Eight of Wands. So there's a repeat of pattern and behavior here. We've got the Wheel of Fortune under there as well in the reverse position. There's something here that's been done before. It's a repeat cycle. This is being communicated. I don't necessarily see it as something bad. It's also not something good. It just kind of is a thing. It could create some problems. I think this is honestly just being accepted as part of you or your partner's behavior patterns. It's like, well, you know, they get that way every couple of years or every couple of months or whatever. You know, it's just kind of part of your behavior. It's just something that's been accepted. Again, not necessarily bad, not necessarily good. All right, when it comes to the way that they feel about you, you're getting the Emperor in the upright. So they may feel like you rule the roost. They could feel like you're a little bit controlling. They definitely think you have things on lock. They feel like you are about your business, like you're running this. They likely feel that you're responsible, but it could be like a little bit overboard, possibly. I am getting like a little bit of controlling issue there. But, you know, maybe that's what it takes to run your household. Again, not good, not bad, just the way it is. We may clarify, we may not. When it comes to what you want, you've got the Moon. So you may be wanting to dive into some other things, dive into the darker nature of things, maybe even visit your dark side. It could be that you want to do things more at night. I am getting the feeling that someone is staying up later, whether you're drinking too much caffeine or doing things mind-altering to stay up later. Or you're just having trouble sleeping overall. Maybe you've recently ditched something, medication or food or, you know, substance that was helping you sleep. And so now your sleeping patterns are back off. Maybe they're just off because that's the way it is. But there is someone who seems to be lacking sleep. There's a lot more activity at night. Yeah, I think you want your partner to join in with you or dive into these things with you. Could even you just want maybe a night on the town. There does appear to be a yearning at some level for deeper conversations, okay? There's something here, excuse me, sorry about that. There's something here about needing or wanting to visit the unknown, whether that's the unknown spaces of your partner or them visiting the unknown spaces of you. There's some information here that you feel like you don't have that you want. When it comes to what they want, they've got the King of Swords. They just honestly want a logical kind of approach to everything. I don't think they mind having conversations. I'm not sure that they're necessarily fully honest about it, but yeah, honest enough. You're both coming through as like really mature and kind of handling your business, but in very different ways. We got Aries energy out the gate, so they likely feel like you're a much more take charge sort of a person and a bigger personality. They may stand a little bit in the shadows and kind of let you take, control in charge of a situation or situations overall. They may more control things behind scenes, and maybe they don't necessarily need to be seen. And again, this could be reversed. When it comes to your combined energy, you've got the Seven of Cups in the upright. So y'all have a lot of options when it comes to overall life. You could dream very big. You have a lot of things that you want to do. You could be planning trips, planning vacations, could be planning on buying new property, new vehicles, new like toys, I'm hearing playthings, or some sense of leisure. But overall, it does look like you communicate these dreams with one another. It doesn't look like anybody doesn't know what the other one wants or is planning to do. So yeah, when it comes to the combined energy, you both are pretty open and what's the word I'm looking for? Mirroring each other quite nicely, and even when it comes to like doing things in the future, whatever that looks like for you. What's hidden is anxiety. Okay, so we're going to clarify this one for sure, but it's coming through as like the lack of anxiety or getting through anxiety. So there may have been some issues, whether it's health, emotional, mental, spiritual, or just, anything. It could even be the stress of another person. Perhaps someone's taken on, I don't know why I'm getting the feeling, someone has recently taken on the health or the caregiver role of a disabled child or a disabled parent, possibly even a friend. Somebody has a lot on their plate here. What's hidden is it's coming through as either adjusting nicely to it or wanting to give it up, whatever that stress is, wanting to give it up, wanting to get rid of it, trying to find another way, another option for that to be handled so that the stress on the relationship is not so much, okay? And this could even be, perhaps you've become the caregiver for your person. Maybe they've recently broke something, or maybe they have health issues, or there's no telling what. What's hidden here is either they don't want you to stress about them, they don't want you to have to take care of them, or you don't want to do it anymore, okay? I don't feel like that's a conversation that's been had outright yet, but I believe that it will be. When it comes to the outcome of this situation, you got the King of Pentacles in the upright. So the situation, the relationship is pretty solid. Not to say that it's perfect. Things seldom are. But it is coming through as convenient is not the word I'm looking for. Although it is coming through as convenient, that sounds a little bit harsh. It's working, okay? You work well together on a very materialistic, like earthly matter, compromise, to income, these types of things. It could be that your person is an earth sign. That would make sense as to why it's so. The energy seems very level-headed. It's very, like, it's not, there's not a lot of spiritual and fantastical and whimsical and fantasy-like energy and attraction here. There's not even a whole crazy amount of passion. Everything in this relationship is based on practicality and logic, okay? That's where you work well together. It makes sense. So it would make sense as well that your person is a very logical person. Perhaps they are an air sign, or an earth sign, very practical. And I think that's why you're needing more of this, what you want. Two of Wands in the reverse position, and the Temperance. Sagittarius, you come through in your own reading for your own reasons. In the reverse position, though. So again, this is kind of deciding which way to go and deciding that you don't want this. Yeah, you want something different, or your partner wants something different, and y'all are trying to figure out how to play that out. There does seem to be a lack of moderation here, and wanting, like, somebody doesn't... Look, remember over here when I said there's some sort of a cycle that keeps repeating itself, and it looks to be behavior or thought patterns. And it could be that time of the year. Perhaps there's a certain time of the year that something comes up for you that it's like the same thing. Maybe you hate Christmas. Maybe you're not wanting to get older. Maybe you don't enjoy your birthdays. Maybe it's a death day. Maybe it's a wedding anniversary. Whatever it is, it seems to be some trouble. It's a repeated behavior pattern. Somebody doesn't want to deal with this anymore and they don't quite know how to address it or get rid of it. This could even be you with yourself. Let's say you know this about yourself and you know you need to get rid of it. You know you need to shed it and you simply just don't know how. Yeah, with the Chariot and kind of like the diagonal position. Yeah, this is, I don't want to say it's a hindrance, because it can be left and healed and done better at any time. But it is kind of, it's a thing. It's a thing. It's creating an issue. Now, you've adjusted. You and your partner seem to have adjusted nicely. You seem to be going along with it. It does seem to be a strong relationship, again, because it's based on practicality and logic more than emotion or passion. But I'm not sure, because this gets old. That's just what I'm going to say about that. That energy gets old. Especially because I feel like when this falls into this place for one person, the other person mirrors it. Same energy, probably different behavior. Okay, so like let's say one person falls into a slump, the other person starts getting more on social media or talking to people that they normally wouldn't talk to. One person starts, maybe going out and partying like they would normally, or not coming home at a certain hour. The other person starts, we'll say fraternizing with people at work, or it's mirrored in a way that it's different but the same. It's different actions, same energy, and it's getting old. Okay, so there does seem to be a need to address that or fix that, but it's not crucial. You seem solid, and maybe it's just something that y'all have agreed to deal with. Okay. The Golden Phoenix, something you thought finished, burst back into life. As I was just saying, this is a repeated cycle. There's some form of behavior pattern here that continues to repeat. And then a new world is born, Dragonling Garden. I will say, you and your partner seem to consistently find ways to get around this. And maybe it's just a situation where y'all need that, okay? Maybe y'all both need to go wild in your own separate ways, once a year or once every couple of years, or, something like that. Could definitely be. The agreement is what's good for y'all. But if you're watching this reading and it's resonating with you, and that type of behavior and those patterns that you're seeing over and over again, especially when it comes to you both having people as other options, if it is bothering you and it's putting a stress on the relationship, then it will need to be addressed. The thing about this energy that I'm picking up, though, this is something that you're going to have to talk to your partner about. But it's not going to change anything. You're going to have to change yourself within. They're going to have to change their self within. I say that because it's almost like, it's like tit for tat. How do I say this? It's, okay. I know what I want to convey. I'm just not sure how to put it out there. So, say one person really likes to drink. The other person, they don't really like them drinking, but they know that when they're drinking, they can overspend or shop a bunch online. Okay, generic example. But it's like, yeah, I hate it that they're always drunk, but they hate it that I spend money. So as long as they're drinking, I'm spending money. Don't say nothing to me. You have no room to talk to me. Okay, something like that. Or let's say like one person really likes downers, the other person really likes uppers, but they don't like each other messing with substance. But if you do that, then I'm going to do this. Or even like a deal breaker, like, hey, I'll get you this, even though I don't like when you do it, if you don't say nothing to me whenever I go do this. It's weird. It's like that. And even if it's not an outright conversation that you two are having, it is sort of that pattern. So like this person knows when you're messing up that they can get away with this, or vice versa. And it's just kind of that thing. And again, that's only going to be for select few of you. This is a general reading. So, but it is definitely a mirroring of the behavior. Okay. We can't be all the things. You need some help. Ask for it, hire it, just make it happen. Okay, maybe ask your partner for help. Or maybe you're depending too much on your partner, or vice versa. Maybe you can't do everything, or they can't do everything. Maybe that some things are not their strong suit. You know, I hear a lot of men, and this is a generic example, but also not. A lot of men are expected to fix cars, build shelves, do things like this. They're supposed to be like, you change or, redo the carpet, paint, whatever the case, right? Sheetrock, tape bedding. These are things that a lot of women, especially where I'm from, down, in the South and the Southwest, men are expected to do these things. Well, that's not every man's strong suit. Okay. So and vice versa. Women are expected to cook, clean, take care of the kids. Not all women can cook. Okay. So there could be a situation where you're kind of expecting a little bit too much from your partner. Maybe they can't fix the car, but they can grind and come up with enough money for the car to be fixed. Okay. Maybe your wife can't cook. She can either take some cooking classes, or vice versa if your husband is the one cooking or whatever. Or maybe you take on the cooking role or maybe y'all order out more, or maybe, I don't know. There's a whole lot of ways, but it's like, I'm getting this very like you're expecting a little bit much out of a person that has no real skill in that area. Let's say it like that. Do you really love them? Then wash, fold, and put away the clothes. Yeah, it's things that are to be expected, like household. Again, and there is a little bit of laziness here. I'm seeing clutter for some of you, especially when it comes to like shopping, and I don't know, there's some clutter. There's some clutter. Oh, can't make it up. All right, let's pick this up and go into the singles read. Oh, shit. Hi. I'm back. My brain left for a second, but we're good. Okay, Sagittarius, come through. One more, please. Thank you. We got two more. Love it. All right. So at the bottom of the deck, you've got the Strength in the upright, the Seven of Cups in the reverse, the Nine of Swords, the Six of Wands in the upright, and the King of Swords in the reverse. Sagittarius, you need to be honest with yourself, all right? You need to be looking at realistic expectations, practical goals, and the way to come about that. So, and also I'm hearing like more short-term goals. Like it's possible that you're trying to take on way too many things at once, especially when it comes to healing yourself. You're strong, but you don't have to be that strong. You don't have to make a complete transformation overnight. In fact, you're actually doing yourself more harm whenever you make these big goals that are really tough to keep for anyone. Let's say you're trying to lose 10 or 20 pounds in a week. Yeah, it's possible, but you can really hurt yourself doing it, and it's not practical. Okay, so it's something like that. Let's say, it could be any number of things, but there's something that you need to give yourself a little bit more leeway with. Let's look at the short-term goals, okay? Versus the long term, because what's happening, or what I'm looking at in this energy, is like you're getting really disappointed. Okay, you're getting disappointed because you're not meeting the goals. It's like, I never finish anything, or I never do this, or I planned on having a car by now, or I plan on having a new car, or I plan on being in a new house with 2 more bedrooms, or whatever, by this point, instead of like short-term goals. Like, so I would need to have this much money by this month in order to get what I need over here, so that by next year, you know what I mean? So like, let's start looking a little bit short term, a little bit more like what we can do from day to day, and then we'll look at week to week, and then we'll look at month to month, and then we'll look at year to year. Something like that is how it's coming through. All right, this is going to really help you to build confidence whenever you're getting on the dating scene, going back into the dating scene, or just overall, you know, whatever. You're needing like a fresh set of eyes and a fresh set of, I'm hearing emotions when it comes to dating and bringing in the partner that you're wanting. Your future love is coming in as the Princess of Wands with the personality of the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse position. Okay, this is a person that they're either not established, or they may be a little bit standoffish. They may not really want to invest in you. They may be a little bit cheap. All right, I'm just going to say it. They may be a little bit cheap. They may not have as much as you. Maybe they're not as established as you. Maybe they just don't really buy into like name brand things and stuff like that. Like maybe those types of things aren't really as important to them. They do appear to not be invested overall in life. So they may have just a much more lax type of personality. It may not be that they're not interested. Maybe they just they're kind of slower moving. They could be a very quiet person as well. When it comes to the attraction, you've got the Three of Cups. So it looks like what's interesting is like, it's almost like you meet them in a rare form. Okay. So like when they're out celebrating, when they're out with friends, when they're outside, when they're drinking, when they're having a good time and they're carefree, you see a completely different side of them when y'all meet and what you're attracted to. Then when you start to get to know them, you see like that was really in a rare form. That was kind of just a time that they let loose, and that's not usually how they are. So there's something conflicting about the way that you meet them and the instant attraction that you have versus what you start to find whenever you start to unravel some things, okay? When it comes to the challenges for you and this person, you're getting the King of Pentacles in the reverse position. Interestingly enough, you've got the Seven of Pentacles over here as part of their personality in the reverse, and the challenges is the King of Pentacles in the reverse. Again, alluding that they are not as stable as you would necessarily be wanting them to be or normally be attracted to. They could also have or appear to have some insecurities. And again, maybe they don't dress the best. Maybe they're not all flashy. I am really getting a lot of that for some of you. They're not really flashy like you may be, especially when it comes to like expensive things and brand names. I'm getting a person that's like they'll spend let's say like 60 grand or 100 grand on a vehicle that they know is going to last them. It has nothing to do with the looks of it. Like they're willing to spend the money on the things that are going to last. They're willing to spend $300 on a pair of shoes if they know it's going to last, but they're not willing to spend $200 on a pair of shoes just because of the logo on the side. Does that make sense? There's something to that here, okay? When it comes to your advice, you're getting the Ace of Cups in the reverse position. What's going to help you in this situation is getting rid of all of that baggage, getting rid of all the repressed emotions and all the insecurities and feeling like you don't deserve love, okay? Because especially, like I said, when we're seeing it over here, I'm getting a very like let down, disappointed in myself vibe from the shadow cards. And your advice is kind of, as we've been saying, allow yourself to build up, make shorter term goals. Everyone that you meet isn't necessarily marriage material. Okay. So let's kind of short term. Let's take today for today. Okay. And for some of you, we're just trying to make it to lunch. Okay. You feel me? The Wheel of Fortune in the reverse position and the Ten of Wands as to how and when you will meet. Okay. So again, it looks like y'all meet when there's some sort of like leisurely activity going on, when people are kind of just letting down their hair, letting go of responsibilities, letting go of the weight of the world, because everyday life is very different. It's quite possible that both of you actually meet in a place or during an event where you're both kind of in a more rare form, okay? Some of you actually meet this person. It could be through a friend, but I don't know. I'm getting like support group. I'm getting like very support group AA meeting vibes. That's not to say you're meeting this person in Alcoholics Anonymous or 12 step or whatever. However, there is some form of like support system going on. So maybe there's someone that you can lean on at a point, someone that you can talk to, or vice versa. But this is a person that like I said, for some of you, you meet actually in a support group, or you meet through them supporting you somehow when it comes to like major life changes. Okay. That's an amazing thing, to know that someone would be there for you like that. I'm always careful with those energies because it can turn into codependency very quickly. Snake Princess, the serpentine path to power. You need to figure out what and who you are and what and who you want before you go on to expecting someone to give it to you. That being said, one of the reasons I'm always so leery about this type of energy, it's good to have support. It's amazing to have someone that you can lean on, rely on, depend on, okay? That's awesome. However, when you run into people, or you are the person, excuse me, that needs fixing and healing, that's awesome. But what happens when you're healed and fixed? Okay, so for the person who needs to be the savior, saving the other person, when that person no longer needs saving, where does that leave them? It leaves them unfulfilled. So they try to create problems so that you can be fixed, or you never heal because you know that they need to be needed. Now, on the other side of that, when you have a relationship that's formed and everyone's healed and you're their power and they're your power and whatever, let's say they get you out of a really bad situation, or you get them out of a really bad situation, or you get them, being that AA is coming through, maybe you get them away from alcohol or drugs or whatever, or bad people or bad groups of people or bad decisions and, weird cycles. What happens if one of you fall ill? What happens if one of you have to go away for a while? Maybe you've got a job and you have to work out of town for 2 months. Maybe you need a break and y'all just have to, break it off, to do a separation for a little bit. What happens then? Well, they go right back, or you go right back to what you were doing before. So that's not always the case, especially if you're aware of it. But again, those are things to be aware of in these types of situations. And that's why I'm so leery for the energy. I know a lot of people say a lot of people think I'm like really, really pessimistic. No, I'm a realist and I am suspicious. Yo. I am a Libra Scorpio cusp with an Aries moon, an Aries rising and a Pisces moon. I am as suspicious as they come. Everybody's suspect. What do you want? You working for them boys? I don't trust you. So I'm just saying, be careful. I'm not a pessimist. I'm just cautious. You need some trying to keep it clean. You need some effing yoga in your life. Ancient-ish is cool. Okay? So get some practices, whether it's in the morning, noon, night. Maybe get a tea ritual. Maybe get an exercise regime. Maybe just meditation. Anything. It's something you need an older practice. Maybe it's just simply breath work. Okay. You're talented and effing amazing. The world needs your power. Use your voice. Just don't use it for dumb-ish. Okay. So loud and proud, as Sagittarius usually are. Just pull it back a notch, or make sure when you're speaking to people that know how to take you, or you're speaking things that mean something. Okay. Obviously this is general. It's not for everyone, but it's a thing. That's what I have for you. I love you very much, and I'll see you next time.